while watching the trailer for the Aaron Rodgers documentary and pondering if everyone on the ayahuasca retreat was totally cool with getting mic'd up, having cameras there while they were trying to communicate with the other side while facing vicious bouts of diarrhea and nausea. Wow. It was discussed, and then the committee fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports media. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
It is, of course, Kevin Wildes. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Great job. You saw today, KW had the script ready for the intro. Like
I freestyled the nausea and diarrhea part.
We all could. But for the most part, it was. For the most part, it was
outstanding. It's not just all.
No, yeah.
I know it comes with side effects.
It comes with a horrible bout of diarrhea.
All right, it's getting that time of year. It's
about
December,
the diarrhea,
where a lot of teams, the committee has eliminated.
Yes.
But math has also eliminated. So can we show the eliminated tiers? First, the Bears are the newest ones on there. But second of all, those teams with X's on them,
what's that?
Mathematically eliminated.
Oh.
Which means Ramsey the board.
What?
Really? The board.
Well, yeah.
Ooh.
Thank you, Greg. Because every year, when teams get mathematically eliminated, we see, are there any representatives of that team on the board? And I saw the Raiders mathematically eliminated all of a sudden. So I'm sorry, Antonio Pierce eliminated.
Okay,
this
good.
wacky doofus, who I'm not even sure made the 53-man roster, Trent Taylor, whoever it was with the Kermit thing, eliminated. So glad to have the board out here as we have some fresh eliminations.
Okay.
No Patriots on this, is just the off-season board.
Patriots are not talking about the Chiefs.
No, Patriots are not talking about the Chiefs. I got to tell you. All right, so now that that business is handled, who's facing elimination this week on the tiers? We can show it to you. I mean, it's some point they probably need to win some games.
They might. There would be tough. Nobody
Listen,
wants to see it though.
Thinks they're the third best team.
I don't still think that. I'm just telling you.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't want to play them.
What proof do you have that they're bad?
But I'm just telling you, they now, the rubbers met the road for Cincinnati. They are facing elimination. All right. Next group of teams all facing major quarterback questions this offseason. QB quandary tier. Reveal it, please. Can we reveal it? But there it is. The Niners. They're going to draft a quarterback. They're going to pay Brock Purdy. The Falcons. Is Kirk going to be 1 year for $90 million? They would have paid him for the 1 year.
Ouch.
The Colts. I would stick with Anthony Richardson, give him another full season, but we'll see. Also, by the way, quick question, Greg Jennings. Richardson for Purdy. Who says no? Just something to think about. Next! I'm telling you. I don't know. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
He can't complete
He says no.
60
That's
million,
a no.
60 million for Purdy or Anthony Richardson on a cheap deal? Firing it over to little George Kittle? I'm just telling you, Shane Steichen might be the one who says no. Next. Sorry, game of the week. Oh, no, I didn't even do game of the week yet. Game of the week. Literally, it's the game of the week.
Oh.
It's the non-Fox game of the week, I should say.
Yeah.
But this is the biggest playoff implications of any game this weekend is Seahawks-Cardinals. Winner is in great position, depending what the Rams do. Of course, Seahawks are going to take a stranglehold of the division. There's this one. Dangerous if they get in. The Rams or Bucks, if they get in, would be hosting in round one. And the Bucks, with Mike Evans back, Baker didn't play great this past week, but he has a knack for making really good plays. Obviously, the Rams, when they're healthy, they're a dynamic offense. Jared Verse been great as a rookie. I think, Brew, you and I both talked about it before the year. If the Dolphins would be dangerous if they get in, because it would have meant they damn near ran the table and they overcame some of the cold weather boogeymen just to get in. I know you think that's an impossibility. I'm just telling you. Silver and bronze medalists. And this is actually about the Rookie of the Year voting. Because the silver medalist should be Jaden Daniels and the bronze medalist right now should be Bo Nix. Because when you have a rookie who's been the best in the league at his position, not amongst rookies, but amongst all players, that guy's the Rookie of the Year.
Joe Alt again?
No, Brawl's been really good. He hasn't been the best tackle in football. Brock Bowers has been the best tight end in football. And I understand MVP having a quarterback slant because there's a V in the award for valuable. Rookie of the Year is just most outstanding rookie. That's been Brock Bowers. There's really a Brock Bowers conversation. We know how this ends. Sorry, bro. We know how this ends. One and done playoff run written all over these two teams. For the Texans, we know why it'll happen, because CJ's going to be fighting for his life with that offensive line the entirety of the game and get cooked up. With the Ravens, there's a bunch of choose-your-own adventures as to how it ends. Does Lamar have his annual Lamar playoff game? Does Justin Tucker miss kicks?
Yeah.
Does the defense let down? The only way either one of these teams win a playoff game is if they're playing each other in round one. In that case, then they'll win a playoff.
Which
could happen. Absolutely could happen. It's the 4-5 matchup. Prove it week. So the Packers have played 3 games already against the Lions, the Vikings, and the Eagles. They're 0-3. They have a chance to get a win this week against the Lions. The Chargers' wins have come against the Raiders, the Panthers, the Saints, the Browns, the Titans, the might-be-good Bengals, the Falcons, and Bo Nix early. So the Chargers, as good as their record is, they've really beaten up on the worst teams in the league. They get the best team in football, the Chiefs, this week. The Packers get one of the best teams in football, the Lions, this week. It's a prove-it week for them. Where's the respect? Only Detroit and Kansas City have more wins than these two teams, yet no one across any media believes either one of these teams is going to win the Super Bowl. I haven't heard a single person. You know what take is available? The Vikings are winning the Super Bowl. The Steelers are winning the Super Bowl. Those takes are available.
Russ?
Get through the next 10 days. You've got Green Bay and Buffalo in the next 10 days. Injuries are starting to mount. As long as you just split the next 2, you're in great shape. But if you lose the next 2 after almost losing on Thanksgiving and dealing with the injuries, things could get a little shaky. Brew this for you. From SNF to MVP. What's SNF? Sunday Night Football? No. From Supernatural Funk to league MVP.
I like that, actually.
It's Saquon snapped him out of the funk. He also, I think, made them the best team in the conference. All right, and now the top of the tiers, which is quite controversial, because last week, Greg, you weren't here. The Chiefs were atop the tiers. The Chiefs, did they win this week? Yeah, they did. So where are they here? They're not the top of the tiers. If only they'd earned our trust.
Wow.
I mean, if only the Chiefs had done enough to where they'd be like, well, they are 11-1 and they never know. If only they had earned our trust the way the team at the top of the tiers has, which is, of course, the Buffalo Bills. And all I'll say about Buffalo is don't let history repeat itself, because Josh Allen's the MVP. The Bills are the most dangerous team. I'm a Buffalo guy this year, but I've heard that song played before. But here's the controversy, Brew. I obviously thought the Chiefs should be atop the tiers. I was almost unanimously outvoted by the committee that because of the Chiefs' bad performance in a win this week and the Bills looking excellent this week, they need to be atop the tiers. So I have to do something.
Oh, no.
That I never thought I would have to do.
Put yourself. The committee?
The committee's on the board. The committee is on the board. Bills atop the tiers when the Chiefs are 11-1. The Chiefs dropping after a win. The committee's on the board. I hate to do it. Trust me, I hate to do it.
Identify the people on the committee. Is that Dusty? Is that Dusty Silhouette?
Different bald guy. Greg, go ahead.
Look, I can pick through these tiers. The titles I actually agree with, like the prove it week for Green Bay, the get through it in these next 10 days for the Lions. The reason why I'm focusing on that is because I really want to focus on the Vikings. You talk about the Vikings and where's the respect. Well, it's not so much that I want to move them up, but I want us to understand that they need to, and they deserve the respect of everyone that they're playing and they're going to be playing in the future, because that get a chance to prove it with the Green Bay Packers in the Lions game, which happens tomorrow. It impacts how we will view the Vikings. And when we look at this Vikings team and we talk about why is this Viking team so good? Why have they continued to win? Well, they have a head coach that knows exactly what he's doing. He's pretty darn good and he's on the offense side of the ball. You look at the defense side of the ball, you got a coordinator that understands what he's doing. When you look at this defense, they do things really well. They pressure the quarterback. They sack the quarterback. They take the ball away. They stop the run. Like, those are things that they do really well. And, oh, by the way, you can't really score on this team too often. So, for me, this defense is lock solid. Offensively, you got one of the best offensive weapons in all of football. Justin Jefferson, he's a staple. He's not going anywhere. He's only behind his counterpart in Jamar Chase in yards this year. Like, he's had an outstanding season. And who's throwing him the ball? Sam Darnold. And guess what he's been doing? Defying all odds. No pumpkin watch. It's not coming. It's not coming. It's not happening. And that's a credit and a tribute to not only himself, but also his head coach and play caller, Kevin O'Connell. They've done a terrific job. We know the numbers. This team can make a lot of noise. I understand why there hasn't been a ton of respect because of their history. But this year, if this team gets in, which they will get in, they are going to make some noise.
So, Greg, you make a brilliant case there. I agree with everything you said. To be clear, you think they're placed properly on the
So
tiers?
I don't mind where they're placed, but I'm looking at that Detroit spot in the Packers. That game tomorrow.
Oh, Green Bay wins, then Minnesota
slides?
Green Bay
wins, exactly. Minnesota takes care of business.
Can I ask Greg
jump.
a question?
Sure.
Because sometimes on the show, people will just say something, an opinion, like it's fact. You're very guilty of it. And like, I do it too. I'm like, well, the show that agrees that Şengün should be an all-star. And you're like, hold on, we don't agree with that. And you interrupt. Is it the consensus of the show that Sam Darnold is officially off Pumpkin Watch?
Yes, he should. You don't think so?
Here's
just a watch.
Oh, wow.
Here's the thing.
He's darn close. He's edging
You think it's
toward
12
games and he's not edging
You think
toward
it's 12:30 at night, and you're like, oh, good news.
Pumpkin watch.
Or is it like 11:45?
Are you certain he could not turn into a pumpkin?
I'm certain.
As so many
he's not turning
pharmaceutical commercials have taught me, Pumpkin watch is like once you have chicken pox, it always lives inside you. It can just manifest itself as shingles or something.
Oh yeah.
Like once you have pumpkin
can lay
watch,
dormant.
it can lay dormant.
Never
it's
know.
like many a communicable disease. Like you can
Pop
get
up.
the symptoms to go away, but it's still ain't.
Little pumpkins.
So you still believe that he's on Pumpkin Watch?
Just watch. Just watch.
It's just on watch. I just never.
I'm not saying
I just got my eye on it.
It's like
all time.
no matter how long Wilds lives in New York, where are you from?
Connecticut.
Exactly. He'll always be from Connecticut. Sam Darnold will always be on Pumpkin Watch. It's just nothing to do with it.
Sam, I'm trying. Man.
It's on watch.
It's just on watch.
It's just a watch.
It's just laying dormant.
It just hasn't flared up. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of Sam Darnold, and this might be awkward because Greg just sang the praises of the Vikings. My change is I'm switching the Packers and the Vikings.
Wow.
All right? You see hold on, you guys are going to agree with my bar. Always take J-Lo over Sam. Is J-Lo on Pumpkin Watch?
I mean,
real talk. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about then. Because J-Lo, look, first of all, I get that the Vikings beat Green Bay earlier in the season.
Oh, did they?
That was J-Lo's first game back from injury. Probably shouldn't have even been playing with that knee injury. I mean, tough through it. And struggled in the first half. Second half, they outscored them 22-3.
That's true.
All right. Since that game, the Pack, Nick, 7-1. 7-1. All right. I'm looking at Greg Jennings when I say that. 7-1 since that.
Vikings are
This is your team. This is your team. No, the Packers lost 2 since then, or the Vikings have lost 2 since then. Look, these teams are. I love the Vikings defense. Packers got a good defense too. They get a lot of takeaways too. They're both very similar. Vikings might be slightly better, but Packers got a great defense too. The run game, Josh Jacobs. If it wasn't for Saquon and Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs would be the guy out in front of the running back carousel.
What about Tony Pollard?
Pollard's up there, but Josh Jacobs is running through people, and you know that.
He is.
So I like that. And then here's Matt LaFleur. We love Kevin O'Connell's great too, though. But I take LaFleur, but O'Connell, I got no issues. But here's the other thing: Jordan Love, J-Lo gets better as the season goes on.
This
We've
is
seen this now for 2 years.
misleading.
Look at that. That's not misleading at all. It's just a fact. The weeks 1 through 10, he struggles.
Yeah.
And this year, in his first 8 games, he threw 11 picks. We were all like, J-Lo, what you doing? But now, we were like, J-No, right? That was his name. Now, the last 2 games, he's got no interceptions, 4 touchdowns. He's gearing up for the playoffs,
but just to
baby.
be clear,
Make a run.
This right side of the column where it says 10-3, 8-3 of that's last year, and when it says
And 2-0 is
yeah,
this year.
and it says 28-4 touchdown interception ratio, 24-4 of that
and
was last
4-0 this year.
I got you. I don't.
It's, like I said, it's a factual graphic.
No, it is. I don't know that it is compelling evidence.
No, it is not.
I'm convinced why. I'm convinced why. Greg wants to come
Listen,
over.
I
He
need
lives in
to see the
Minnesota.
Packers beat a really good team. The best win they have is the Texans, right? And that one, and that
Some people
Texans
think
win
they're
was
going
a
to the
field
Super
goal
Bowl,
at the gun.
the Texans.
Some people think the Packers are going to the
I
Super Bowl,
do.
which is not a.
Packers not a better pick than the Texans right now.
I mean, they.
Well, it's a better pick than the
get me to
Bears.
go off
All right,
team.
KW. What's just happened?
We lost our graphics, which is good because was the Sam reference like a J-Lo song?
I didn't get it.
No, no.
I didn't get it either.
It wasn't. It was. His name is Sam.
I know, but it felt like it was like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
There's something about
I didn't understand.
No, it was no.
The way it said it, I thought there was a song.
I'm
There
like
was
going
no
through
song
J-Lo's
that I know of.
Me too.
Maybe a B-side. I don't know.
It was a B-side.
I totally.
I'm moving the Lions up, man. I don't know how high I'm moving the Lions up. Am I moving the Lions all the way to the top spot?
You could.
I might. My bar, it's not working, but my bar was Lions are the best team, and everyone knows it. And yeah,
Everyone
I
knows
think
it.
so.
Okay, let me hear it.
That's one of
A
those
strike-
facts you stated.
Yeah,
that's
well,
not really
a
fact.
strike against them, like, well, they played this Bears game close, and if it wasn't for a debacle at the end,
No, that's not
it
a
would be.
strike.
It happens to the Chiefs every week, but it's a strike. It's
We
a
only
compliment
talk
for the
about
Chiefs.
it with
No,
the Chiefs. We
Chiefs.
didn't talk about it at all with the Lions.
Exactly, because it's not a compliment. With the Chiefs, they know how to win, but if the Lions aren't blasting teams,
Going
what's
over.
wrong with them? The Chiefs are plus 54 the entire year. Lions beat the poor Jags and Mac Jones, still a fan, by 46. One game they had a point differential of almost the whole season. What about the Eagles? Oh, the Eagles have won 8 in a row. Oh, Philadelphia, I get cheesesteak. Lions have won 10 in a row. How's Jared Goff doing that time? Oh, let's see. Number 1 in points, number 1 in completion percentage, best in yards per pass, passer rating 2, touchdown percentage 2, passing yards per game 9. And here's the other thing. I've told you guys this. I'm a points guy.
Yeah.
I'm a continuity guy. I'm also
Wins guy, points guy.
Wins guy, points guy. It's kind of, out of fashion nowadays to be into wins and points. Scoring the most in the NFC, allowing the fewest in the NFC. Last 35 years, teams that have scored 30 or more points and allowed under 17 points. 2024 Lions, we don't know what their future holds. 99 Rams won the Super Bowl. Washington won the Super Bowl. The injuries are a thing. So if you want to hit me with the injuries,
I'm not gonna
saying
hit you
it's
with
a
the
different
injuries.
team, the Aiden Hutchinson next man up mentality, maybe that's going to get stretched too far. There's too much. I buy that. But right now, they have done enough at 11-1, blasting
No,
teams
every point you
to
make
be
is
like,
a great
They
point.
might be the best team in
And
the league.
even certainly, certainly take the Chiefs out to give them certainly have them ahead of the Eagles.
Give them a
there's-
legacy
I can't
pass.
think. There's something.
Gosh.
That's
I was
the top of my
wondering,
head.
what in the
lowest,
world?
That's the lowest.
What is Nick doing?
That's on the top of my head as to why I don't believe in them.
You bought a tiny,
Oh my. That's disrespectful.
Where'd you even get that from?
a tiny hand.
That's so disrespectful.
It's like an old Saturday Night Live bit, and you're not supposed to hold the tiny.
It came from within his suit. Are you like
How long
crazy
you had-
double jointed one of those people?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I've had 2 tiny hands with me the whole show.
Why? I just said he's number 1 in completion percentage. How is that relevant?
This
And he's indoors. And he won in Lambeau a while ago where it's cold.
What
He needs
are
to
we
grip the
doing?
ball. That is the low point. That's the low point of your career. Who did that? Hubs?
Wow.
We had a
We have to
courier
have
bring
a
us
real
to
discussion.
Titans.
Honest to God. I'm not joking around. We're talking to the bosses.
We need to.
This is like someone
I'm coming
drinking
to
on the
that
job. It
meeting.
works.